Good afternoon, Jets Nation. Welcome to the Drew Jets Show, and today we're going to be talking Mekhi Becton. So without any hesitation, let's get it started. So this offseason, one of the biggest storylines was how Mekhi Becton was going to bounce back. And Mekhi Becton was just a very interesting story for the New York Jets over the last 3 years, because 2020, we pick him in the first round, 11th overall pick, has a great rookie season, shows a lot of promise. We have NFL executives and scouts ranking him as a top 10 future best left tackle in the league. The ceiling is through the roof for this guy. But week 1, 2021, suffers a season-ending injury. Training camp of 2022, Mekhi Becton suffers a season-ending injury. So the last 2 years, we don't see Mekhi Becton on a football field. And because of this, everyone's saying Mekhi Becton is a bust. The New York Jets should trade him. The New York Jets should cut him. Saying all kind of things, a lot of harsh things about Mekhi Becton. It said his weight got up to 400 pounds. A lot of bad spotlight was shined on Mekhi Becton. So this offseason was Mekhi Becton's chance to prove everyone wrong. And at the start of the offseason, everything went well, because we found out Mekhi Becton was in incredible shape, was back to his weight that he was at during the combine, and even lighter than that. We're seeing all these practice footage of Mekhi Becton. He looks great. He's moving great. Everything's going great with Mekhi Becton. We get to training camp. He's not receiving any first-team reps. A lot of people were starting to get alarmed, but then we find out the New York Jets are essentially putting training wheels on him, kind of just working him back in the football groove, because he hasn't played in 2 years. He's also on a surgically repaired knee, so the Jets just don't want him to get re-hurt, want to smooth him back in the game just to get him back in the field of things. And then as time went on, he starts to look better and better. He gets healthier and healthier. And then in our final preseason game, Mekhi Becton was named a starter on the right side of the offensive line, is going to be protecting Aaron Rodgers. So Mekhi Becton proved everyone wrong this offseason. Worked his way back into shape, worked his way back into the starting lineup. After it didn't even seem like the Jets coaches were believing in Mekhi Becton, he now worked himself back. So just a huge offseason for Mekhi Becton, and I think this is a great thing that we now finally have Mekhi Becton as a starter on this offensive line, because we've seen it in the preseason games how good Mekhi Becton has looked. I mean, that's no lie. Mekhi Becton has really looked great so far in preseason. And based on the way the offensive line has been described in training camp and kind of what we've seen from the first group in the preseason games, it hasn't exactly looked pretty. You know, looking at guys like Max Mitchell, who's primarily been on the right side of the offensive line, or right side starter during training camp, he hasn't looked good. You've seen probably pretty much every single defense lineman on the team beat him for a sack during training camp. Even in the preseason games, he wasn't looking good. So now that we have Mekhi Becton, someone that has been playing pretty well over the past few weeks in practice, overtaking Max Mitchell jobs, that's obviously a great thing. And it really starts to seem like this offensive line is starting to come together, especially with Dwayne Brown hopefully being cleared off the PUP list in the next few days, because he's getting medically cleared, hopefully today. So the offensive line now finally starts to seem like it's coming together. But that all has to do with Mekhi Becton, because a lot of people have said it this offseason, Becton is the New York Jets X factor this year, because the offensive line is very make or break. You know, we're seeing it cause problems in training camp, but of course everyone's saying, oh, it's training camp, people are dealing with injuries, they're getting back in the groove of things, can't really judge an offensive line in training camp, all of this. We want to believe it, but we know that we need this offensive line to work out. We need guys out there, and one of those guys just so happens to hopefully be Mekhi Becton, because we know whenever he's healthy, his rookie season, he was a stud. He looked like he was going to be one of the best tackles in the league. So we need to see that Mekhi Becton this year, and it starts to sound like that he's finally grooving himself into that version of himself. So hopefully now Mekhi Becton can come back full circle to where he was his rookie season and be a good offensive tackle for the New York Jets this year. And also just congratulations to him for winning that starting job back. I mean, blocking for Aaron Rodgers in a preseason game where we need him to essentially be bubble wrapped is super important. And the fact that the New York Jets are trusting Mekhi Becton over Max Mitchell, the starting right tackle for the entirety of training camp, is awesome. So that's all I got for you guys today. Let me know what you thought down below. And I'm just Jit signing off for now. See you guys later. Peace.